There's a man somewhere in this world who doesn't know your face, doesn't know the sound of your laughter, has never touched your hand or looked into your eyes, and yet he thinks of you, not in the way someone thinks of fantasy or a distant hope, but in the way you think of something real that's coming, something certain, something the soul recognizes before the mind can catch up. He wakes up with this feeling, this presence that sits beside him during quiet mornings when the world is still wrapped in dawn's gentle silence. The angels have been whispering to him, you see, in that language that doesn't use words but uses feelings, intuitions, those sudden knowings that make you stop mid-step and wonder where that thought came from. And lately, every whisper, every divine nudge, every synchronicity that makes his breath catch, it all points in your direction. He doesn't understand it fully because how could he, when the human mind tries so desperately to make sense of what the soul already knows? But he feels you in moments when he's driving and a certain song plays, one he's heard 1,000 times before. But today the lyrics hit different. Today they sound like a message, like someone is trying to tell him something to the frequencies of melody and meaning. He feels you when he's standing in line for coffee, and suddenly, inexplicably, his heart expands with this warmth that has no source, no logical explanation. Just this overwhelming sense that somewhere, someone is thinking of him too. The angels work in mysterious ways, don't they? They don't always speak in thunder and lightning, in burning bushes or angelic choirs. Sometimes they speak in the quiet, in the subtle, in the gentle tug of attention towards something your rational mind would dismiss. And this man, he's becoming more attuned to these whispers, more sensitive to the guidance that flows through him like a current he's learning to swim with instead of against. He's been asking questions lately, speaking into the void of his room at night, asking who you are, where you are, when this inexplicable pull in his chest will finally make sense. And the angels, they smile because they know something he doesn't yet, that you've been feeling it too, haven't you? Those moments when you feel watched over, protected, when coincidences stop feeling like coincidences and start feeling like conversations with something greater. This isn't random, and this isn't one-sided. The bridge between two souls is being built from both ends, and right now, in this very moment, he's laying down his stones while you lay down yours, and neither of you can see yet how close you actually are to meeting in the middle. The universe has a peculiar way of speaking to those who are meant to find each other, and this man has become fluent in a language most people never learn to read. He finds feathers in the strangest places, white ones, pristine and perfect, appearing on his doorstep, on his car windshield, on park benches moments after he sits down, as if they're being placed there by invisible hands that want him to know he's not imagining this, that what he feels is real and witnessed by forces beyond the physical. He started noticing numbers, those repeating sequences that catch his eye at exactly the right moment, 1111, 333, 555, and each time he sees them, there's this flutter in his chest, this recognition that something is trying to get his attention, that the divine is tapping him on the shoulder and saying, pay attention, this matters, she matters. The songs that play seem chosen by something with intimate knowledge of his heart. He'll be thinking of this mysterious connection, wondering if he's losing his mind for feeling so certain about someone he's never met. And then the radio will play a song about waiting for the right person, about soul recognition, about love that transcends logic, and he'll have it pull over because the message is so clear it almost hurts. He's begun keeping a journal of these moments because they're happening too frequently to be dismissed, too specific to be coincidence. Last Tuesday, he was walking through a bookstore, not looking for anything in particular, just browsing, and a book literally fell from the shelf in front of him. A book about soulmates, about divine timing, about twin flames and how the universe conspires to bring destined people together. He laughed out loud, not from disbelief, but from the sheer audacity of how obvious the signs were becoming. And here's the thing. He's also started having dreams. Not the regular kind of dreams that dissolve like morning mist when you wake up, but the vivid kind, the kind that feel more real than reality, where he's walking towards someone whose face he can't quite see, but whose energy he recognizes with every fiber of his being. In these dreams, you're there, always just slightly out of focus, always turning a corner just as he's about to reach you, and he wakes up with his heart pounding, and this absolute certainty that what he's dreaming isn't fantasy but preview, not imagination but premonition. The angels are working overtime, coordinating these divine coincidences like cosmic matchmakers who know that fate sometimes needs evidence, that hearts sometimes need confirmation before they can fully open to the miracle that's approaching. Every feather is a reminder, every number sequence a promise, every song a love letter written in frequencies only the soul can decode. But being chosen as someone's divine match isn't just magic and butterflies and romantic destiny. It comes with weight, with responsibility, with the understanding that he's being prepared for something sacred, something that will require him to be more than he currently is. This man feels it, this heaviness in his chest that isn't burden, but rather the weight of potential, the weight of carrying a light that isn't just his own, but yours too, the combined luminescence of two souls meant to shine together. The angels have been putting him through preparation, though he might not recognize it as such. Every challenge he's faced recently, every moment of having to choose between his old patterns and his higher self, every instance of needing to let go of something comfortable but no longer serving him. These aren't punishments or random difficulties. They're refinements, the universe's way of making sure that when he meets you, he'll be ready, he'll be worthy, he'll be capable of holding the frequency of the connection you're meant to share. He's been shedding skin like a snake in transformation, releasing old relationships that were teaching relationships but not forever relationships, releasing habits that kept him small, releasing beliefs about himself that were inherited from wounds rather than truth. It's uncomfortable, this metamorphosis, because growth always requires letting go of who you were to become who you're meant to be, and letting go feels like loss even when it's actually liberation. Some nights he lies awake wondering if he's good enough, if when this mysterious meeting finally happens, you'll look at him and see what the angels apparently see, or if you'll see all his flaws and imperfections and walk away. But here's what the angels keep trying to show him, that he's not being perfected, he's being prepared, and there's a massive difference between those two things. Perfection isn't the goal because perfection isn't real, isn't human, isn't what creates the kind of connection that transforms lives. What's real is authenticity, is vulnerability, is showing up as a whole person with wounds that have become wisdom, with scars that have become stories, with breaks that have become breakthroughs. He's learning to love himself in ways he never has before, not from ego but from necessity. Because how can he offer you real love if he doesn't have it for himself first? How can he hold space for your light if he's still hiding from his own? The angels are teaching him this through every disappointment that redirects him, through every closed door that pushes him toward the one that's meant to open, through every moment of solitude that forces him to sit with himself and discover that he's actually pretty incredible company when he stops running. And the beautiful truth he's starting to understand is that this preparation isn't just about being ready for you. It's about becoming who he's always meant to be, with or without you, though the angels know it will be so much better with you. There's an invisible thread connecting you to this man, thinner than spider silk, but stronger than steel, and it's been there longer than either of you realize. Possibly before you were born, possibly woven in whatever realm souls inhabit before they descend into these human bodies and forget their divine origins. This thread vibrates. It hums with energy, with longing, with the anticipation of 2 points finally coming together after orbiting around each other for who knows how long. When he thinks of you, which is more often now, more intense, more specific, even without specifics, that thread tightens just a little, pulls just slightly, and somewhere in your own life, don't you feel it? Those random moments when your heart suddenly races for no reason, when you feel this overwhelming wave of emotion that seems to come from nowhere, when you turn around expecting to see someone standing there, but finding only empty space. Maybe that's not nothing, maybe that's him. Maybe that's a thread connecting you, pulling taut as he moves closer. The angels can see this thread, can see how it weaves through space and time and circumstance, how it bends around obstacles and finds ways through impossibilities, how it's been guiding both of you toward the same point through different paths. You probably passed each other already, maybe multiple times, in airports or grocery stores or crowded city streets, close enough that the thread between you hummed with proximity, but not yet at the right time, not yet when both of you were ready to recognize what was right in front of you. Divine timing is frustrating precisely because it's divine and not human, because it operates on a schedule that considers factors we can't see, variables we don't understand, preparations that need to be complete before the meeting can happen in a way that actually works. He dreams of you, and you dream of him, and sometimes those dreams overlap in the astral realm where souls meet when bodies sleep, where you probably had entire conversations, made promises, held each other in ways that the physical hasn't allowed yet. Have you ever woken up feeling like you spent the night with someone even though you slept alone? Have you ever felt phantom touches, gentle caresses on your face or hand as you're drifting off? That's not imagination. That's the thread. That's him reaching across dimensions, because the soul doesn't recognize the boundaries the physical world insists are real. The angels are working on both ends of this thread, whispering to him, whispering to you, orchestrating synchronicities that will eventually become undeniable, that will eventually lead to that moment when you lock eyes and everything suddenly makes sense. All the waiting, all the weird feelings, all the signs and symbols and dreams coalescing into one crystalline moment of recognition where you both think simultaneously, "Oh, there you are. I've been looking for you everywhere." The meeting is inevitable, already written in whatever cosmic book records these destined intersections, already seen by the angels who've been guiding this entire process, already felt by both of you in ways you can't quite articulate, but can't quite deny either. He's being led to you through a path that only divine intelligence could design, through a series of events that will seem random until you look back and realize how perfectly orchestrated every single step was, how every detour was actually a shortcut, how every delay was actually perfect timing. Maybe he'll meet you at the exact moment he stopped desperately searching, when he's finally surrendered to divine timing and decided to trust the process instead of trying to force or control it. Maybe you'll meet in the most ordinary of circumstances, reaching for the same book, standing in the same elevator, sitting in adjacent seats on a flight. And the extraordinary will be in the recognition, in the way your eyes meet, and something ancient remembers something important. Or maybe it'll be dramatic, one of those movie moment meetings that make you believe in magic and destiny, and the idea that some things are just meant to be. He doesn't know when, and honestly, neither do the angels, or rather, they do, but they're not telling because knowing would ruin the beautiful surprise of it, would take away the breathtaking spontaneity of that moment when the universe finally says now. But here's what I need you to understand, what the angels are trying to communicate through every sign, every synchronicity, every word of this message. The meeting, as magical as it will be, as life-changing as that moment of recognition will feel, that's not actually the most important part. The meeting is just a beginning, just the first page of story that's going to unfold in ways neither of you can predict or prepare for. What comes after? What happens once you've found each other? Once the search is over and the journey together begins? That's where the real magic lives. That's where the purpose of all this divine intervention reveals itself. And that purpose, that reason why the angels have been working so hard to bring you together, why the universe has invested so much energy in coordinating this connection, well, that's something even he doesn't know yet, something you'll both discover together, something that will make everything that came before make perfect sense. But that story, that revelation, that understanding of why you two specifically were chosen to find each other, that's a mystery for another time.